Hello, today we're going to look at surface area of a cylinder. If you think of a cylinder, it is made up of three faces. It has the top and the bottom, which are circles, and it has this middle curved surface. If you kind of peeled that away and flattened it out, it's actually a rectangle that has been wrapped around the two circles. We are going today to look at two different types of questions, one where you give your answer as a decimal, one where you give your answer in terms of pi, but the method for both is the same. You just have to give your answer in a slightly different way. We are going to break it down quite a lot. I'm going to show you all the things that you kind of need to identify, pick out of the question, and then use them to calculate different parts before putting it all together to get the total surface area at the end. So the first thing when you're doing a question like this is make sure you know what the radius and the diameter of the circle are. Okay, so I would work those out. Once you have those, I would also work out the circumference of the circle. So remember, circumference is the outside, it's the perimeter of the circle. The reason we need the circumference for these types of questions for the surface area of a cylinder is because if we think of that rectangle that has been wrapped around the middle, the height of it is the 10 centimeters, is the height of the cylinder, but the length of it going along this way, that is the part that is wrapped around the circle. Okay, and remember those circles are the same size, so it's wrapped around the two circles, which means that the length of this rectangle is the same length as the outside of the circle, as the circumference of the circle. So we need to calculate the circumference because we will use it to find the area of this rectangle. Okay, so the radius is what we've been given, is 6 centimeters, which means the diameter is double that. The diameter is all the way across, means the diameter is 12 centimeters. Circumference we calculate by doing pi times by the diameter. So in this case we are doing pi multiplied by 12, which gives us, I'll just quickly do it on my calculator. I spilled coffee all over my calculator. 12 is 37.699. I'm going to leave a few decimal places there because I'll round it properly right at the end. So I always leave a few extra than what I actually need until I'm right at the very end of the question to make sure my answer is as accurate as it possibly can be. I'm then going to work out the area of the rectangle, and I'm going to do that by timesing the height, which in this case is 10, by the circumference, which I've worked out already. Okay, circumference. So I'm going to do 10 multiplied by 37.699, which gives me an area of 376.99. And now we're talking centimeters squared because that is an area. I also need the area of the top and the bottom of the circle. So say this is the top. Oh, this is the bottom. But they are the same. Remember, area of a circle is pi r squared. And I'm going to times it by 2 because the top and the bottom of the cylinder are the same. So I'm going to multiply pi by 6 squared, and then I'm going to times that by 2, which gives me pi times 6 squared times by 2 is 226.195, if I round it properly, centimeters squared. So again, I'm leaving quite a few decimal places, and at the end I will round it to 1. So to finish that off, I need the total surface area, and I need to add those things up. So I need to add the area of the rectangle with the top and the bottom. I've already put the top and the bottom together by multiplying by 2. So I'm going to add, the rectangle was 376.99, and I'm going to add 226.195. Remember, that is the top and the bottom together because I multiplied by 2 here. That gives me, when I add it all up, plus 376.99 That gives me 603.2, if I round it correctly, centimetres squared, because it is an area, okay? If you follow those steps, you can't go wrong. So the bits that I would make sure you write down and include in your working are write down what the radius is and the diameter, then calculate the circumference using the formula, the area of the rectangle using the height times by circumference, the area of the circles multiplied by 2 to work out the area of the top and the bottom together, and then remember to add it all up at the end. So if you fill in kind of the answers to those highlighted parts, every time you do this type of question, you are always going to get it right. You can't go wrong, okay? The next question is very similar. We've been given a diameter instead of the radius, but that's fine. But I want us to give our answer in terms of pi this time. So, first thing I'm going to do is find the radius and the diameter, and then the circumference. So, the radius, the number you've been given is the diameter, so I'm going to write that in first. The radius is always half of that, so the radius is half of the diameter, so the radius is 6. Oh, that's the same as last time, isn't it? Oh no, I've done the same question without realising. Never mind. I'm not going to stop and start again now. The circumference would be pi diameter, which is pi times 12. But this time, because we want our answer to be in terms of pi, I'm not going to work it out as a number. I'm going to leave it as 12 pi. I'm going to treat pi as if it was an x or any kind of algebraic letter. I'm going to leave it, just going to treat it as if it is a letter, okay? Then I'm going to work out the area of the rectangle. So here's my rectangle. I'm timesing the height of it, which is 11. Okay, it will be slightly different because I put 11 as the height. The height is 11. The length of it is the circumference, which we've just worked out is 12 pi. So the rectangle area is the height times by the circumference. So I'm timesing 11 by 12 pi. Now again, treating pi as if it is a letter, so I'm not multiplying it and getting a decimal. I'm just going to do 11 times 12 and then put pi on the end. So that's 132 pi. That gives me the area of the rectangle. Then I want the area of the circles. So here they are. Oh, here they are. If we say this is the top and this is the bottom, but they are the same. The area, we are going to do pi times the radius squared, and then we're going to multiply it by 2 because the top and the bottom are the same size. So I'm doing pi times 6 squared, and then I'm multiplying it by 2. Pi times 6 squared is 36, so that's 36 pi. And then I'm timesing that by 2, which gives me 72 pi. Finally, the last thing is that you have to add it up. So you have to do the total surface area. We're doing 132 pi plus 72 pi. Now again, if you have the 132x and you're adding on 72x, you just add the numbers and you would still have that number of x. So if I add 132 with 72, I get 204 pi. Now all the way through I've forgotten my units. This is centimetres because it's a length. This is centimetres squared because it is an area, and so is this, which means my answer is 204 pi centimetres squared. Okay, so the method is the same. You have to do all of the same things. The only thing that's different is that you have to leave pi within your answer instead of working it out as a decimal. And that's it. So I hope that helps. Again, the highlighted parts, if you can work those out and follow the same steps every time, You cannot go wrong with this type of question. Okay, so just follow that every single time you do it, and you can't go wrong. You'll always get it right. That's it. I hope it helped. Have a lovely day. Thank you.